All right, friends, it is almost February, and for most women, I know that swimsuit season thoughts start creeping in, and suddenly a supplement might sound really, really appealing, especially how they're all marketed these days. And there's no shame in hoping for a little extra help in the form of a supplement. And before you press pause on the episode, this is not a supplement fact sheet. I'm not going to tell you the do's and don'ts and what I recommend for your summer shred or anything like that, because I don't think that you need more information. But I do think it's helpful to have a way, if you want to take supplements, to actually tell if it's doing anything, which is what most of us don't have. So, supplements, as I'm sure you are very aware, are marketed super aggressively with these buzzwords and before and afters and awesome testimonials and this huge sense of urgency behind them. But good marketing, it creates hope. It's not actually proof that the thing works. I'm sure stuff works for everyone. Like every diet under the sun has worked for someone. What does that mean that it's the supplement for you? I don't know, to be determined. But it's really tough to tell with a lot of supplements out there because our body rarely responds in these really dramatic, noticeable ways overnight. We just can't tell because there's so much going on in our body. So, whether it's fat loss or energy or hormone health or gut health, all of the claims of supplements tend to be pretty vague on purpose. And then the results that we get also tend to be pretty vague because most of us don't have a system for really tracking or knowing if these supplements work. And so we just kind of think, is this working, or am I just making really expensive pee right now? Because that's what it can turn into if you're not careful. So the before I get into a system for supplements working, I want to make sure that I note that supplements are supplemental, like it's in their name. So they are supplemental to the basics that I am constantly talking about. It is not a replacement for them. Nothing will replace you doing the basics. So that boring basic stuff still does the heavy lifting of any lifestyle change that you want. So move, eat, sleep, repeat. And if you do want to try a supplement, make sure you still have those dialed in so you can be smart about the supplements that you're taking. Because I don't want you to just buy hope. I want you to figure out what's actually going to work for your body. Okay. So let's say you decided you want to take a supplement, or you want to investigate if you should take a supplement. So first thing to note is that some really popular supplements out there, you can actually tell with some blood work. So things like iron or vitamin D, some other B12, like you will actually see differences in blood markers when you take these. I also recommend, though, doing that blood work before you start taking anything, because you may not even need to take it. It may be like, oh, I'm really low on energy. Why don't I start taking some vitamin B supplements and maybe I'll feel better? Well, if you get your blood work done and your vitamin B12 is just fine, probably not going to help. See what I mean? So get the before snapshot, and then that way when you supplement, you will have then the after so you can compare and see if they actually worked. And then, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the other supplement claims don't actually have clean markers for how to measure it. And so that's where I recommend having a system of your own. And the first thing is to take one supplement at a time. Now, this is often not what supplement sellers or vendors or marketers recommend you do. They have their proprietary stack or this, like bundle of things that you take and they all help each other and they work in conjunction. However, if there is positive improvement, you don't actually know why. You don't know it's the result of this one, that one, or the other one. So then you end up needing to take all three of them to continue that effect because you don't know which one it is. And then it would require more experimentation if you did really want to dial in which one it is. So try one at a time and then give it weeks or sometimes even months to determine if it's working. And then on top of that, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Sometimes it's really hard to notice. And so you may actually have to stop taking it. So if you've been taking a supplement, let's say for a month, for 30 days, and it's slowly, incrementally made these improvements, but you just don't notice them, it might be that you stop taking it. And then you're like, whoa, I feel terrible or brain fog or my stomach hurt, whatever the thing is that that supplement was actually helping with. That's when it might be noticeable. And then you're like, okay, I guess this thing really works. And that actually happened with my boyfriend. He has a joint health supplement, and he didn't really think, like wasn't entirely sure, but then he ran out for a couple days and it was so noticeable in terms of knee pain. And so we were like, okay, clearly this stuff works. And so we got it back and went back on it. And after 2 days, I was like, how are your knees doing? And he was like, I hadn't even noticed that they hurt. So they were doing great, but he hadn't even thought about it because there was no pain anymore. So that's what I'm talking about, where the awareness, like we just don't notice these things. And so it's really helpful to have a system to keep track of them. And I mean, a system as in writing it down, putting this information either into a journal or your phone or a piece of paper or a something, because you're not going to remember how you felt day to day. We are terrible at this recall and guessing and that type of things, especially if there are multiple factors that go into it. So maybe if it's a thing that your energy, let's say, and you're taking a supplement, well, your sleep also affects it. So on top of the supplement that you're taking, your sleep will also affect it. Your stress will probably also affect it. Your alcohol intake will affect it. Your food will affect it. So it's not as simple as just, okay, I took a supplement. Did it work or not? There's way more that goes into it. And they don't tell us all that when they're selling supplements. They just want to sell the thing. Of course, they hope that it works. You know, they want it to work for everyone. At least I hope that most, yeah, I hope they're reputable. I hope they want their stuff to work. But the reality is that you don't need this cabinet full of supplement bottles and powders and gummies and all this stuff, because most of the change that the majority of Americans really want to get, they just come from the basics. Supplements, yes, they have a place, they can help, but if you're not nailing the basics, I don't know how much a supplement, that the ceiling on the supplement is much lower. So supplements should support those basic habits that you have, not replace them. Nail the basics, then supplement if you want, but have a system. Know what you're doing, know what you're getting yourself into so you don't waste a whole bunch of money. So that's today's daily bit of fit. Take it and run or walk or stretch. Just go move. That's it for today's daily bit of fit. I'm Coach Mack from Running with Bacon, reminding you that small steps really do add up. Make sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss a bit. And if today's episode hit home, send it to a friend who might need it too. And if you ever want a quick pep talk tailored just for you, DM me on Instagram, because I'm always happy to send some encouragement your way. You can find more support and my health coaching resources at runningwithbacon.com, or come hang with me on Instagram for some healthy fun. Until next time, keep taking those small steps, because you don't need a perfect plan, just a consistent one.